This is Michael Popok, Legal AF, the Hawaii 1960 precedent. The Hawaii 1960 precedent. The Hawaii 1960 precedent. Popok, have you gone mad? Why are you keep repeating that? Because the fake electors and others that have been indicted in Georgia have latched onto Nixon losing to Kennedy in 1960 and a bunch of elector issues that happened there to say, that's what we were. We were what happened in Hawaii. We didn't commit a crime. We're just following what happened between Nixon and Kennedy in 1960. There's only one big fat problem with that analysis. It doesn't work. Makes no sense. It's not what happened in Georgia, and it's not what they were doing in impersonating electors. They weren't, as Kathy Latham and Stills and other fake electors like to say in their filings, they weren't contingent electors. Contingent electors sounds so authentic, so honorable, so official, when all they were doing is admitting that they're impersonating real electors. There's no such thing as a contingent elector. There are always two slates of electors in every state, one for the ultimate losing candidate and the other for the winning candidate. And when the winning candidate wins, that set of electors gets elevated into electors who get certified and sent around to lots of different places, like the National Archive and to the President of the Senate. What happens to the other electors that were representing the loser, in this case, Donald Trump? They fall away. They don't continue to exist. You don't have both. You never have both, right? They're not contingent. And so why Hawaii 1960? Popok, get to the point. Okay. There was a relatively close election between Nixon and Kennedy in 1960. In fact, people thought Nixon was going to win. You know, Kennedy came out of nowhere, lots of money, lots of his family money, and he ended up winning. Okay, there was one state back before, almost before television, certainly before the internet and computers, when they called Hawaii sort of early. Hold that thought, and then I'll compare it to Georgia, in which Joe Biden won, not twice, but 3 times before the certificate for the electors was sent to Mike Pence. But back to Hawaii. Who doesn't want to go back to Hawaii on a regular basis? I do. Back to Hawaii. There, they called the state a little too early, a tad too early, and they called it for Nixon. And so the Nixon electors went, hooray, we won. We're the electors. And they actually got the governor and the other parts of that process in Hawaii to certify them. And so for, I don't know, a nanosecond, they were the electors for Nixon, the loser. Then the hand recount kept going on in Hawaii. And even though people like, Walter Cronkite and other newscasters called Hawaii, we're calling Hawaii for Nixon, they had to change their story. Sort of like Dewey beats Truman, right? Remember that famous headline from history in the history books? Didn't happen. We didn't have a President Dewey. You don't have to scratch your memory banks. Truman won. Okay. Fast forward or fast backwards to Hawaii. You have Nixon, yay, the slate wins. But then they kept counting and they found out that Kennedy won. And when Kennedy won, they had to recertify the state. And when they recertified the state, they had to knock on the doors of the electors for Nixon. Hi, I got bad news for you. Remember we told you you're an elector and we're going to send your certificate to the National Archive and to the President of the Senate? Yeah, we're not doing that anymore because Kennedy won, who ultimately became our president in that election. And that set of electors were not contingent. They were basically voided. And when they were voided out, the new electors for Kennedy said, yay, and that's what was sent. And that's what became the basis for Kennedy beating Nixon. That's Hawaii, 1960. I'm sure already through this, those that follow Legal AF and on the MeidasTouch network are saying, that's not what happened in Georgia. Right.
Eating well doesn't have to be boring. Feel your best this fall and satisfy your cravings with adventurous eats made nutritious from Green Chef. Discover exciting new flavors with recipes that feature certified organic fruits and vegetables, sustainably sourced seafood, and unique farm fresh ingredients like tart cherries, truffle zest, and rainbow carrots. Green Chef is the #1 meal kit for eating clean with dinners that work for you, not the other way around. around. My experience with Green Chef has been game-changing. Their meals genuinely taste amazing, and I don't know how I'd get through the work week without them. Plus, it's super fun cooking with my family because of how easy Green Chef makes it. Green Chef is also the only meal kit that is both carbon and plastic offset. Green Chef offsets 100% of their delivery emissions, as well as 100% of the plastic in every box. Plus, nearly all packaging materials are curbside recyclable in most areas in the US. Green Chef delivers everything you need to eat clean the easy way this September. Feel your best with nutritionist-approved recipes packed with clean ingredients that support your healthy lifestyle and taste great too. Go to greenchef.com/60legalaf. That's 60 Legal AF, and use the code 60legalaf. That's 60 LEGALAF to get 60% off plus free shipping. Once again, that's greenchef.com, greenchef.com/60 LEGALAF, and use code 60legal to get 60% off plus free shipping. Green Chef, the #1 meal kit for eating well.
What happened in Georgia was Joe Biden won the popular vote. Hooray! Joe Biden won the hand recount. Hooray! And Joe Biden won the mandatory, statutory, required audit because the election was close in Georgia. He didn't win once, Joe Biden. He won 3 times in Georgia before the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, the Governor Kemp, certified properly under Georgia law the slate of electors and certified them for Joe Biden. That got sent, and part of the electoral count that was counted and certified by Mike Pence along with the Senate on Jan 6th. Has nothing to do with what happened in Hawaii. There wasn't a group of Trump electors who for a short amount of time, for no time, could declare themselves the winner, yay, under anything. Trump lost the popular vote on the first night. He lost the recount on the third or fourth night. He lost the hand recount. He lost all the recounts. And so there was no contingent. That was just a band of impersonators. That's the crime they're being charged with. And why they're admitting to the crime in the papers they're filing to try to get to federal court, I don't know. But as I've said before on other hot takes, just because another set of players in uniforms shows up in a stadium and says they're the home team, we're the fill in the blank for your favorite sport team, doesn't mean that they are, or that they're going to get to play the game, or that the league that supervises the game is going to say, we're confused. There are 2 sets of people wearing uniforms. One looks like the world champion fill in the blank, and the other one, I don't know, they're wearing uniforms. Maybe they got at the gift shop or at the store or on the street corner. There's no, that doesn't make one a legitimate contingent set of players and the other ones the actual players. It makes one a bunch of imposters and fraudsters who are trying to, co-opt and usurp actual authority. And that's what happened with the fake electors. Hawaii 1960 is an interesting historical tidbit that I got to dust off and talk about in a hot take, just like this one. It doesn't mean it has any precedent. I've given it more time on this hot take than it probably deserves, except all the Trumpers and MAGA have latched onto it, just like they love the 1860 election. I'm not going to do that one on this hot take. I'll do it on another one. But that's another one that they love, which they get wrong about historical precedent and the role of Thomas Jefferson. But I'll do that on another hot take. I'm staying in the Hawaiian moment for now and reporting to you from Legal AF. I do this only one place. You know where it is, the MeidasTouch YouTube channel. Free subscribe, help them get to 2 million, and watch us, me and my 2 co-anchors, Ben Meiseles, Karen Friedman Agnifilo, on Wednesdays and Saturdays on a podcast called Legal AF. Yes, it's what you think. We sit at the intersection of U.S. law and politics. We do it and just like this, we curate the best stories for the week. Get it where you get your audio. Get it where you get your video podcast from. And until the next hot take, who knows? I may take us back in a time machine to 1860. It's Michael Popok, Legal AF.
Hey Midas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram at MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.